Добрый, да, хорошо.
Да, хорошо слышно. Хорошо слышно.
Я думаю, можем начинать, да, потому что сейчас пока у нас один участник, а потом подключатся уже остальные, ну, чтобы нам за время не выйти. Как считаете? Не будем ждать больше.
Да, давайте приступим.
Да, давайте. Okay. Good day to everyone. I would like to welcome all the participants here at the International Forum for Scientific Year, Step into the Future. And today, the workshop Formal Sciences starts its work. And the first participant is from Indonesia. It's team of two authors, Cheryl Erifin and Michael Rahario. I know that they are already here in the room. And you can start, Cheryl, you can start your presentation. Please share your screen. Это у кого так громко? Cheryl, can you hear us? Can you see us? If you have some problem, oh, great, we can see you.
Can you hear us?
Yes, great.
Okay. Can you see our screen now?
Yeah.
All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Cheryl Arifin.
My name is Michael Rahario.
And we are from SMT Little School, Surabaya. In this occasion, we would like to present our study titled Computational Analysis of SARS-CoV-2 Variants in Indonesia that reveals potential vaccine candidates. So, as we all know, it has been 3 years, and we are still in this COVID-19 pandemic situation. COVID-19 is a respiratory disease caused by the virus SARS-CoV-2. SARS-CoV-2 consists of several structural proteins, one of them being this spike protein. This spike protein is the one that will bind with ACE2 receptor, and they will infiltrate and infect our host cells. So, in case of viral infection with SARS-CoV-2, our immune response, specifically the innate immune response, will trigger the production of interferon type 1. This will in turn trigger the expansion of natural killer or NK cells. However, when NK cells fail to expand their repertoire, then the adaptive immune system will be triggered. This adaptive immune system relies on both B and T cell recognition. So when B cell encounters SARS-CoV-2, they will internalize it and present the protein fragments to T helper cell through their immunity receptor. This interaction will trigger T helper cell to start secreting cytokines, which will be used for the differentiation of B cell from plasma cells and memory B cell or NBC. Antibodies secreted by plasma cells will bind with SARS-CoV-2, and they will eliminate it from our body. On the other hand, when we are infected by SARS-CoV-2 again, then our immune response will be able to react faster due to the presence of NBC. Aside from activating B cells, cytokines also have another role, which is to induce the proliferation of cytotoxic T lymphocyte, or CTL. When CTL is activated, they will start to screen, and when they find a cell that has been infected by SARS-CoV-2, they will force that cell to undergo apoptosis. So, one of the ways to encounter COVID-19 is through vaccination. There are 3 types of vaccines circulating in Indonesia right now. The first one, we have mRNA vaccine, such as Moderna and Pfizer-BioNTech. Then, we also have this protein subunit vaccine, like AstraZeneca. Lastly, we have the inactivated viral vaccines, similar. All of these three vaccines work differently. However, they share one common goal, which is to induce the immune response against SARS-CoV-2. So, we also know that both COVID-19 and influenza share similar clinical features and epidemiology. For example, we can see that both diseases share similar symptoms, like cough, cold, fever, and sore throat. In fact, they also spread similarly through the aerosol and contact with direct individuals. So since they are similar, in this research, we aim to predict epitopes that can be used to manufacture vaccines specifically for the strains that are circulating in Indonesia right now. So to do that, we first extracted the S gene and the complete genome sequence of SARS-CoV-2 from the database GSAID. Then we align those sequences to the reference using plasmid omega and extract the S gene using bioedit. There were some similarities between the sequences, so we merged them together using BioPython. Then we put them into RAXML to create a phylogenetic tree. From that tree, we predicted the continuous B-cell epitope using PepiPrep that is available in IDD. Then we further correlate them with several parameters and further analyze them using Vaccgen, VaccinePrep, and AllogenFP. Aside from the continuous B-cell, we also did the discontinuous B-cell epitopes. We first did the 3D protein modeling using Swiss Model XFC and further analyzed them using Biscoto, available in IDD. Then we visualized them using PyMol. Not only for the B-cell, we also did the MEC2 binding peptides. We did them using ProPrep, available in IDD as well. We then analyzed their antigenicity, allogenicity, and toxicity, just like the continuous B-cell. But we did not stop there. We further analyzed them using BLAST. This was done to check their cross-reactivity with other pathogens. Now I will give this to my partner, Michael.
Thank you, Cheryl. We retrieved a total of 717 sequences from GSAID, which consisted of 709 samples and 8 references. All of these sequences were aligned and trimmed to clean the S gene sequence of any unnecessary nucleotides. Afterwards, a phylogenetic analysis was done using VaccineL to check the genetic distance amongst our samples. And this phylogenetic tree was the result of that analysis. If we look closely, all of the variant references were located on the B cluster. They're all clumped together in there, except for 2, the Omicron and Delta reference. The Omicron reference was connected to this internal node marked by the red circle, and that made all of the samples connected to the red circle Omicron, making this one big cluster, which we will mark as cluster A. The same was applied to the Delta cluster. The Delta variant was connected to this internal node marked by the red circle, and that made all of the samples connected to it Delta, making it one big circle, which we will mark as cluster C. We took one representative at random from cluster A and C to be further analyzed using these methodologies. These analyses were done for 2 reasons. First one was to locate peptides that had the potential to be epitopes. But more importantly, was to see whether the parameters between the 2 representatives were actually similar. Since their parameters were actually similar, we could target conserved regions that were present in both of the representatives. After that, we predicted the B-cell and MSC2 epitopes, and these were the epitopes that we recommended. All the epitopes in this table have been filtered according to their antigenicity, toxicity, allergenicity, and their cross-reactivity. And you might notice that the MHC2 epitopes were supplemented with these number of alleles. These alleles could aid in the detection of the epitopes, so a higher number of alleles corresponded to a higher chance of the epitopes being detected. Afterwards, we predicted the discontinuous B-cell epitopes using this photo and visualized it using PyMol, the result of which could be seen in these figures. Figure A and B were the 3D structure of the Delta and Omicron representative, respectively. Although there were some differences in the location of the residue, which were marked as spheres, but if we look at all of them as a whole, all of the residues, we could see that all of the residues are located on the surface of the S protein. I will now give it back to my partner, Cheryl.
So, to sum everything up, some of the epitopes that we have predicted were excluded based on their antigenicity, allergenicity, toxicity, and their cross-reactivity with other pathogens. This was done to narrow down epitopes that can be used to manufacture vaccines, so that both time and funds required to do that can be significantly reduced. We hope that this research can help in addressing challenges posed by SARS-CoV-2. That will be it from us today. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much for your presentation. It was great. Are there any questions from the jury to our participants?
I have a question. Guys, thank you for this presentation. It was really good. I have several questions. So the first one is, what do you think, how fast your algorithm can adapt to the new viruses like COVID-19, but in another form? I mean, not Omicron, not Delta, but another one that might happen.
So with the presence of a new variant, this research can still live because the method stays the same. It's just that we need to change the samples. So the method is still there. We can redo everything and use the samples that are updated to the new variant.
Okay, thank you. And another question: what specific mathematical algorithms do you use for this clusterization and so on?
These analyses were done with free online websites that could provide us with the information. They don't specifically tell us what their method is, but what we want is just the results, and that is the result. We don't know what the exact mathematical equation is.
Okay, thank you.
Any questions?
I've got a question. In your presentation, you mentioned that you use GIS aid database, but Indonesia, as I understand, don't participate to this project, and there is no data about Indonesia in this database. So, do you have something concerning your country?
The GSAID, we are working with a university right now in Indonesia, and they help us access GSAID. So we have the data from GSAID. There are Indonesian samples and sequences there.
It means that you don't use Indonesian data concerning COVID.
We use Indonesian data and we accessed it from GSAID. And to access it from GSAID, we work together with another university right here. And yeah, we retrieved those data from GSAID, Indonesian samples and sequences.
And the second question concerning the method of your research, what do you do exactly? Did you write program or what kind of analysis did you provide exactly by personal contribution?
So we used an application.
We use a software available online. And this method, we retrieve it from another paper, but then we don't use their samples, we use our own Indonesian samples. And we also added some more methods in the beginning and we added more data in it. So it's kind of like uh, we reference our paper and our research using that paper, but we change the data and we add more.
Thank you.
Any questions? No. Guys, thank you very much for your presentation.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next participant still didn't hear. It's team from Nepal, but we have one participant from Russia. I'm not sure can he make presentation right now or not. Кирилл, вы нас слышите? Боюсь, что нет, потому что он выступает в конце, но он подключился. Там есть небольшие проблемы с подключением у непальцев. Наверное, немножко придется подождать. Сейчас все будет, говорят. Ждем. Я думаю, минут 5 нужно будет подождать. Можно расслабиться на 5 минут.
Cheryl, are you online?
Yes.
Thank you. Could you give me in the chat the link to the online program which you are using to make your calculation?
Okay, we have several tools here. We
Yes,
have.
you want links.
Huh?
You want
Oh,
links.
he wants links. Okay. I'll
Yes,
get links.
can you share it?
Okay. Share
It's
screen.
very
and send-
interesting, yes, for me to understand your methods. Thank you.
Do I share my screen?
You can send it in chat.
Oh, all right. Okay.
we have the next participant from Nepal, Sakar Shrestha. Sakar, you can start your presentation. We are ready to hear your project.
So, hello everyone. I'm Saujanya Sharma and my teammate Sakar Shrestha. So, today we're going to present our topic or our research paper on procedural animation.
So let's get started. We have an introduction on our topic, procedural animation. As we all know, from the beginning of animation, we have the old animation as drawn animation, which was drawn for each frame, and all those frames were smashed together to create a moving pictures. And this type of animation requires a lot of resources and talented artists, and a lot of time to draw as well. So this was quite ineffective and inefficient in regards to the new age. So we have the research upon procedural animation, which is a better form of cell animation, and it is machine-generated movement for real-time movement, which can be created through scripts. And the objective of our research is to create a character capable of procedurally generating its movement. And so we have taken our concept from a game called Rain World. In Rain World, as you can see in the GIF we have in our slide, the character moves pretty interestingly. None of it is hand drawn, and all of it is procedurally generated from its own AI. All the creatures that you see here are moving with his own behavior and movements according to the scripts.
So, talking about how we are able to achieve procedural animation, we use C# scripts, Unity physics, and Unity kinematics. We chose Unity because Unity lets us create our own sprites, and then we can use physics and kinematics with its built-in engine, which allows us to make procedurally animated objects and sprites. So, talking about how we went about doing this project, firstly we made a simple sprite, and then we defined what we want it to be, and then we decided on its behavior and how it's going to react when we move or give it some actions. And then with time we tested how it looked, and then changed the script to make the sprites look more lifelike and more realistic rather than something computer generated. So this is a demo of our project. As you can see, the creature we've made there, it moves. If I give it a higher velocity, its tail becomes longer, and when I give it a low velocity, it stops. Similarly, we can see another creature dragging a little spike ball. This is an example of basic movement using procedural animation, and this is how it reacts to the environment. So what we've done here is created a simple spider-like creature that changes its movement according to what obstacle it comes across. Here we have used inverse kinematics on its structure or bone we have given. So basically, it moves the center of the sprite around with its two legs, and it climbs above obstacles and avoids it. So what we can do to improve these projects in the future is we can use even more complex reverse kinematics. What I've used here is based on Unity. So if I'm able to extend this more, then I can obtain more lifelike behavior from those creatures, and also make them adapt to environments which can be also generated procedurally. I can we are able to add more variation to the sprites, because with procedural animation the potential is infinite. We can add different behaviors on the go as we are working on a project. And as I said before, with more variation and more complex movements, we can make the creatures look lifelike and interact with environment in a lifelike manner. So that was our project on procedural animation. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your presentation. Are there any questions to the participants?
Yeah, I have a question. Thank you for your presentation. It was really good. So, what do you think? What are the advantages and disadvantages of your research comparing to the modern neural networks? So, as all of us know, that there are a lot of networks that generate some creations, some features like this. So what do you think? What's your advantages and disadvantages comparing to them?
So I think firstly easily the advantage we have is we focus more towards video game development and animations. So the project we've done, the research we've done relates more to video games. So as we know, video game is a large market and it requires a lot of animation. And with the art style indie games use, I think animating procedurally is better than drawing every image frame by frame, which was what bigger companies used to do. So with these kind of animations, even small group of developers can create games without needing a lot of people in their team. And a disadvantage to this process can be
is the technology we would need and the funds we would need for a computer strong enough to render all of the project.
Okay, thank you.
More questions?
Could you clarify it? Yeah, could you clarify it? Did you write the code? Could you show us a code and make some comments?
actually.
Stop sharing.
Stop sharing our present screen present. I think so. Just wait a little bit. It takes time to complete this project.
One of the
Okay.
disadvantages.
Okay. No problem.
So just to give you an example, for the tentacle creature we've created, this is just a random triangle sprite. We just put it there, and this is a line renderer, which is one of Unity's component. And we used two codes basically for this one. So first is the rotate to cursor program. So this one here, as you can see, there is only three things we've used. So first is vector3, which is physics, as I've mentioned earlier, course, and it takes, I've made a variable cursor position, and this is a Unity function, camera.min screen. So what this does is whenever I point the camera towards something, it just takes that input and moves the object towards it. And we have used this quaternion math, which is, this is like a simple script to move the triangle towards the cursor. So for the tentacle which is attached to it, we've made a line renderer from this sprite and parented it to the actual triangle sprite. So when we move this, the line also moves with it. So this is the sprite this is the code I used to move the tentacle. What this basically does is, I have made an array which is which from the start to end of the line or the tentacle or the tail, there are several points in it. And as I, with this smooth damp function, as I move around the tentacle or the tail, it smoothens it because there are like 7 to 8 points inside the line, and then it moves according to how much of the smooth damp value I give it. So if I give it a smooth speed of 0, then it's not really, it's going to look very blocky. Oh wait, trail speed. So that's how the code works basically. And then this is the length of how long I want the actual tail to be. So I can change it from here. And that's pretty much it. I put the script up here.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much for your presentation and for your answers. And we have the participants from Nepal, which in the list on number second. It's Ananta Kandel and Shashwat Raj Kadaria. They just have connected. Please share your screen and start your presentation. Hello. Can you hear us? I can see you in the list of participants, but I don't understand. Can you hear us or not?
Hello.
Hello. I can't see
Hello.
you. Please switch on the camera.
Hello.
Yes,
Hello.
we can see you. Yeah. You can start your presentation. You can share your screen.
Okay. So hello everyone. My name is Asad Kodaria, and this is my friend Ananta Kodal. And today we're giving a presentation on detection of network loop in a vast computer network. We had prepared a presentation before, but unfortunately our hard drive crashed, so we had to make a new one right now. So it may not be that good. So let's start the presentation. So introduction to network loop. Network loop is a very easy concept. Network loop occurs when router are transferring packet, but the switches are not transferring packets. So you'll get access to internet from the router, but you cannot get access to the internet from the switches. So it can be caused due to different software bug, incorrect setting, or hardware issues. So identifying the causes of network issue. So network issue can be caused by many various factors. Some of them are problem in network topologies or problem in hardware, or sometimes it may also occur due to the fault of the technician who made the network. Solution for network loop. By our friend Ananta.
Thank you, Sasad. Now I'm talking about the solution for network loop. Network loop can be caused by different factors, like you already explained that, due to the network topology issue, due to like hardware issue, many things. But we can solve the network issue by using the like base first source or base first source. We can use base first source from the switch to the destination node, and by finding the way where the network is crashed, or where the network is in circular loop, or where the IP is giving like 169 or 40 IP, and at that point we can maintain that and we can resume the network loop are caused in the data link layer, not in the application layer. So from the application layer we cannot do anything. So for finding the network loop, we should go in the data link layer, not in the application layer. If you want to do the things from the application layer, we cannot do the things. So for doing network loop issue or finding a network loop issue, we have to present in the physically, we should present it on the site for that. Why finding network loop? Network loop causes so many effect in the company or any network issue. So we need to find network loop. For if there is network loop, then many employees can't work at the same time, and many data transmit will not work, and many interruptions will be there. So we need to find network loop. Importance of network monitoring. The value of network monitoring is detected and resolve network loop in a timely manner. Importance is like if there is a network loop, then many things will be disturbed. So we have to monitor network all the time, and we have to find the network loop. Like, thank you. If you have any question, feel free to ask us.
Thank you very much for your presentation. Are there any questions to the participants?
Okay, may I?
Sure.
Yes,
Gabe.
hello, Sergey Yermokov from Russian Technological University. So we know that on market there is a lot of vendors who produce so network technical things. Yes, it's like Huawei or Cisco or other vendors. And with which vendors do you work? And so on which vendors do you target in your project?
We are targeting like Cisco vendor because I'm working on the Cisco right now, and in my office or in my where I work not till now, I have used the Cisco and I have done CCNA from Cisco packet tracer, so I am comfortable with the Cisco. So we are looking for the Cisco vendor.
Okay, so and where are our question is there opportunity to upgrade your project on other vendors, for example, yes, Huawei or other companies?
Basically, if you give us like we're like raising the funds, so if you give a fund and we can do on your vendor as well.
By the way, the problem doesn't depend upon the vendors. So it is the issue with the, it is the issue that is caused when, okay, it is the issue that is caused by the technician who created the network. So vendor doesn't matter here. It doesn't matter if it is a Huawei system or a Cisco vendor. It is caused due to some faulty technician or something. So the network keeps on looping on the same wire in the same switch. Router provides internet, but the switch cannot provide internet to computer. So it doesn't depend upon the vendor. It works same on the every single vendor. So it can be solved on every single vendor. Right now, there are only hardware technologies to solve the problem, and the hardware technology is simply a hit and trial method. So we have to check every single wire on every single switches and every single router on the network to find the issue. But we are proposing a software solution to find the network issues.
Okay, yes, I understand. Thank you. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank
More
you.
questions?
Yes, I've got one question, if you don't mind. You said that you proposed the software for detection of these network loops. Do you write it by yourself? Do you write the code? Or are you just using the code written by others?
No, we'll write the code by ourselves. We are quite proficient in coding. And we're right now studying computer science, so we'll write the code by ourselves. And we have quite an experience in network field. So I think it will be comfortable for us to work in this field and solve this issue.
I'm not clear. Have you written this code or you intended to write this code?
We are writing and intending at the same time. Right now, we started writing the code due to this project, due to this program. And we're researching, right now we're in the research phase. We can write the code and we are writing the code right now.
Okay, can you show us a code and the ideas and to let us understand your stage?
So right now we cannot show the code currently because it is not complete. It is in the trial method and we have different system. So the code is in a different computer and we cannot get it right now.
Okay, which language do you use?
We use Python and we also work in C.
Okay. What methods do you would like to use?
Excuse me, I'm not clear on the question.
What methods? You described just a general description, but what methods?
The actual software implementation is very hard. So we're right now in the researching process. We're working with our teachers and different professors to find the solution, and we're writing the code as well. So it's on the principle. Ananta would like to expand further.
We are in research phase because the network loop will be in the data link layer, not in the application layer. So from the application layer, we cannot do any we are like barely can do anything from the application layer. So we are like researching how we can do from the application layer to go to the data link layer by following all the protocol in the OSI level, reference level. So we are in the research right now. So we are doing the code. So we cannot so right now because we are in the research process phase.
So, am I right that your research aimed on motivation? Why it's important to research network loops?
Yeah.
Because this is a very big problem. Even in our college, while working, sometimes we cannot access the internet due to this issue, and this is caused by the technician. Right now we have to find every single switches, and we have to test every single wire to find where the issue is actually. And so, due to this reason, we're trying to go with the software approach so that it will be easy and we can find the network loop as fast as possible.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, more questions? No. Guys, thank you very much for your presentation. And the next team also are from Nepal. It's Yohiba Chapagain and Sabagaya Sapkota. Guys, you can start your presentation and share your screen.
Hello, everybody. Are we audible?
Yes, we can see you.
All
and we
right,
can hear you well.
All right. All right, so greetings, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Yokiva Chapagai.
And I am Sabika Sapkuta.
And we are very delighted to present an overview of our project on Twitter sentiment analysis through the application of natural language processing. Our team has invested considerable effort in this research, and we are thrilled to showcase our findings with you today.
With millions of users worldwide, Twitter provides a rich source of data on people's opinions and feelings about various topics. Our project aims to utilize sentiment analysis techniques to extract valuable insights from Twitter data of a specific user.
So our presentation today will cover the following topics. Despite the increasing popularity of social media platforms such as Twitter, it can be challenging for businesses and organizations to keep track of public opinion and sentiment towards their brand, products, or services. Manual analysis of social media data can be time-consuming and prone to errors. Although natural language processing techniques can assist in automating sentiment analysis of Twitter data, the accuracy and reliability of such models remain a major concern. Hence, we have come up with an idea of sentiment analysis.
With over 300 million active users and over 500 million...
Ladies, sorry, we can't see your presentation, ladies, sorry.
Yes. So you opened a full screen, yes, and it's on your...
all right, we're very sorry.
But we just only see editor screen. So you need to share.
All right. Can we start off the presentation from the beginning then?
Yes.
Is it visible to you guys now?
Yes.
All right, we'll start from the beginning.
No, please switch on the full... Yeah, great.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay.
All right. Okay. So as we said earlier, despite the increasing popularity of social media platforms such as Twitter, it can be challenging for businesses and organizations to keep track of public opinion and sentiment towards their brands, products, or any kind of services. And manual analysis of social media data can be time-consuming and prone to a lot of errors. Although natural language processing techniques can assist in automating sentiment analysis of Twitter data, the accuracy and reliability of such models remain a major concern. Hence, we have come up with an idea of sentiment analysis.
With over 300 million active users and over 500 million tweets sent every day, Twitter has become a valuable source for sentiment analysis. So we've used Roberta, which is a highly advanced pre-trained transformer-based model. Leveraging its neural network architecture, we employ this model for analyzing text sentiment in our project. It is a highly accurate and versatile model that has been trained on a massive amount of text data and can be fine-tuned for various natural language processing tasks. By classifying tweets as positive, negative, or neutral, we were able to determine the overall sentiment of Twitter users towards that topic.
Now, the objective of this project is to gain insights on various topics, such as we can collect tweets related to a specific topic or event, such as a political election, a product launch, or a social issue, and analyze the sentiment of those tweets to gauge the public opinion. And also, it can also collect tweets that mention a particular brand or company and analyze the sentiment of those tweets to monitor the brand's reputation on social media. Similarly, our generation is always following trends, so we can also use this project to identify emerging patterns in public opinion, such as shifts in attitudes towards a particular issue or changes in customer preferences. These tweets can be collected that mention a particular company or product and analyze the sentiment to identify customers' complaints or issues, and then use that information to improve the customer service. You could also evaluate different sentiment analysis techniques and compare their accuracy and effectiveness in analyzing these data.
So, what was our approach in performing this project? At first, we imported the required models such as Roberta that involved downloading the required files, loading the model into memory. It is a variant of the popular bidirectional encoder representations from transformers, that is BERT model, that has been specifically trained on Twitter data. Secondly, the tweets are scrapped using Essence Scrape library with the Twitter Search Scrapper class, which provides an easy-to-use interface for scrapping tweets from Twitter. A query is specified in a specific format to ensure that the libraries correctly interpret the search parameters, and the getItems method retrieves matching tweets. The tweets are then added into a list until a limit is reached. Each tweet in the list contains the author's username and the raw text content of the tweet. After that, tweet's pre-processing is done, and for that, we removed any irrelevant information from the tweet, such as links or hashtags. Then we tokenize the text, which involves splitting the tweet into individual words. Then we removed any stop words, which are common words like and or the. Finally, we converted the pre-processed tokens into numerical vectors that can be fed into the Roberta model. Now, the major work of analyzing sentiment was done. The resulting encoded tweet, after pre-processing and tokenizing, was then passed to the pre-trained model, which produces a probability distribution over the 3 sentiment categories, that is positive, negative, and neutral. Finally, the output probabilities were converted to percentages and added to the results data frame. Hence, the code analyzes the sentiment of tweets matching the search query and provides percentages of positive, negative, and neutral tweets, which can provide insights into the overall sentiment of the Twitter users who have tweeted about the specific topic. For example, high percentage of negative tweets may indicate controversy or unpopularity, while a high percentage of positive tweets may indicate a positive perception among Twitter users. So here is a short demo for our project.
So that was a short demo of our project where the results were stored in the Excel sheet. Now, after seeing the demo, we'd like to share some achievements that we've gained through the project. The outcome of this project will be a working system that can analyze Twitter data and determine the sentiment of the tweets. The project also helped us gain a better understanding of natural language processing and sentiment analysis, including the techniques used and their applications. We were also provided with opportunities to learn about machine learning and data science. By analyzing Twitter data, the project provided insights into social media trends and sentiments, which can be useful for businesses, governments, and many research projects too. There may be opportunities to develop a commercial product based on the sentiment analysis system, which can generate revenue and also create job opportunities.
So this project can be enhanced through the implementation of further improvements. While Roberta is a powerful model where there are other state-of-the-art deep learning models such as BERT, GPT-3, and T5 that may achieve better performance on the task. The representativeness of the data can significantly impact the performance of the sentiment analysis system. Therefore, collecting more diverse and representative data from different sources can improve the accuracy of the system. While text-based sentiment analysis is a popular approach, incorporating visual and audio features can provide additional contextual information and improve the accuracy and richness of the sentiment analysis system. With the increasing globalization and multilingualism of social media, developing a multilingual sentiment analysis system that can handle different languages can be useful for cross-cultural communication and understanding.
So with that being said, sentiment analysis is a powerful tool for extracting valuable insights from text data, and it has numerous applications in a variety of domains. And as previously stated, analyzing these tweets and its sentiments about a specific topic provides us insight into various public opinions, customer behaviors, and trends. It can also spot problems and opportunities in brand reputation, customer service, and product development. The analysis informs marketing, public policy, and business strategy decisions. And furthermore, the effectiveness of sentiment analysis is determined by a number of factors, including the quality of data and the accuracy of the classification model, and also the relevant features used. So I hope through our project and presentation, you have a better understanding of sentiment analysis. And as we've said earlier, it can be used to gain insights from social media data. Thank you for your attention, everyone.
Ladies, thank you for your presentation. Are there any questions?
Thank you. Yes. Sergey from Russian Technological University. On the way to improving your project to multilingual sentiment analysis, which breakpoints do you see, and which problems do you see to improve to multi-language level?
So the project is limited by the quality of the sentiment analysis model used. While Roberta is in a state-of-art model, it still makes errors in predicting the sentiment of certain tweets, particularly if the tweets contain complex or ambiguous language. So the project relies on an NSCrape library to scrape tweets from Twitter, which may be subject to some restrictions imposed by the Twitter API. Also, the collected data takes a bit longer to load and provide the output. And also the project does not perform any filtering or pre-processing of the scraped tweets beyond basic cleaning. This could lead to noise or irrelevant data being included in the analysis, which could impact the accuracy of the results.
Okay, thank you. And there is a way to use in English lemmatization. Do you know what is lemmatization?
Can you please repeat the question?
Do you know what is lemmatization?
Yeah, it's basically about like splitting the tweets and then gaining insights.
Yes, yes. And what's the difference in English and, for example, in other language which do you know? Where is there the difference?
I'm sorry, I'm not able to understand your question.
Okay. About lemmatization, yes, you know what is it, and is there a difference in every languages? For example, in English, yes, I know Russian, English, like French, Spanish, and other language. Is there a difference? And on which way you can use lemmatization, and maybe so in which language it can be more stronger, more difficult, and which language it can be more
I
easy.
think, I think, as we said earlier, natural language processing is what we've used. So, natural language processing is the solution to it. And of course, it is easy in English because English is an international language, and these models are also trained in such a way that they are familiar with English language, and these models find it easy to, analyze the sentiments in English language. But it is of course hard to analyze the sentiment in further languages. But I think natural language processing models could be the solution to it, as much as we've researched. But thank you so much for this, raising this question, because of course we can research about this topic more and more. As you said, I would definitely research further on it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I got the answer.
More questions?
I've got more question. Do you use only English language recognition or Nepali also?
Oh, for now, we've only used English. But as we also mentioned in our disadvantages that, or improvements that we could use further languages to make this project more, advanced and more complex. But for now, we've only used English language.
Because in this screen sharing that you made, when you made the request, I saw that the result consists not only English sentences, but also, as I understand, it's on Nepali language. So you skip this data from the recognition or do something with this data.
No, these data are not restricted from recognizing further languages. As we said that we've used these models, which are already pre-trained models, and it has a large data set. So whatever the data are stored in this model, it recognizes those languages. And
So those languages that were represented in the screen share, the video we shared, were not actually Nepali language. Those were slangs. And to analyze this for Twitter sentiment analysis, we tend to remove those slangs. So yeah, those were slangs which were represented in the video.
Okay, so you skip this data.
Yeah, we do skip those data.
Okay, thank you. And do you know any data sets of Roberta made educated on Nepali language? Do you see this?
Any data set that is educated
Yes,
on Nepali language?
yes. There is a data sets for Roberta to make the weights and make the model on Nepali language or on your national language. Do you see this?
Nepali language. Do you?
So I think some are available in
I think we've researched about it, but we can't come up with a name.
some are available in I don't know how to pronounce that term. CAG, I don't know, something.
Kaggle.
I think.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Kaggle.
Yeah.
There is also Hugging Face. Maybe you
Yeah,
just see
we
this
use
website.
that
Yes,
library.
Hugging
Yeah.
Face. So there you can find the data to educate the Roberta to understand the Napoli language. So
Yeah.
I hope you will go further and
Yeah, sure. Thank you so
and
much for your.
yes, and use this data to make this sentinel analysis on your mother language.
Yeah, sure. We
Thank you
will
very
use it.
much. Yes, thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for your questions and answers. More questions?
Yeah, I also have a question. Girl, thank you for your presentation, for your answers. It's a well-known problem, as all of us know. So please share with us your personal contribution to this project, to this problem. So what's first of all, what's the novelty of your research? And the second one, share us your personal contribution in this project.
All right. So talking about our personal contribution, like we both are doing some internship on research projects, and we currently in our university we are engaged in some research, organization that is mainly focused on research, like finding the top 10. Like finding the top tens of our country. And while researching, based on our own experience, we came up with this idea of like how we could gain the public opinions, like because it was really hard and time consuming for us to actually research on some topics that was loved by the audience, that got many views, that could lift our brand. So while doing those things, we came up with the idea of this project, and we are very much fortunate that we can use this project in our own internship program that we are doing right now on research, and it will really help us. So I think that is the personal contribution that we have done to us. And
This project was very well coordinated project, I would like to say. So, as mentioned. As mentioned before, this project had many steps. So we had to first scrape the tweets. So she handled the data scraping part, and I was responsible for sentiment analysis. And then the interpretation was well coordinated by both of us.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, ladies. Let's move on to the next project. It's a team from Nepal, Nishant Khatka and Saurav Dakal. I know that they are here already. You can see them in the list. You can start your presentation. Turn off your mic, please. Okay.
Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Can you see our screen? Can you see our screen?
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah. So, warm greetings to the panel of judges. My name is Nishant Khatka, and I have Saurav Dakal with me. We are representing BrainIQ Research Organization from Nepal. Our project is AI Hive News, intelligent search and summarization tool. And we'll be talking about the following contents. So, the vast amount of information on internet today is frightening, to say at least. Every day, hundreds of news articles are updated on various online portals that any sane human cannot just catch up to. Coming up to this day and age, I've realized that the motivation to catch up on the current affairs has diminished by the day. My upbringing was in the sense that every day I used to glance through the morning paper, but over the last few years, the habit slowly started to vanish. That was a major motivation behind this project. So AI Hive News is a search and summarization tool that makes it really convenient for users to search for news articles based on the topic of interest. Moreover, the tool also summarizes the news articles in about 3 to 7 sentences so that it does not even take much time of the reader. The development of our product followed agile software development technique. First, a couple of surveys were done and news APIs were researched upon. In the development stage, an algorithm was created that scrapes the website for news articles using Beautiful Soup Python package and summarizes them using analytical library in Python. The system was tested with multiple inputs, and the log index was calibrated to test the accuracy and consistency of generated summaries. And finally, a user interface was created that deployed our program on the web. So in simple language, the program asks the user for input, uses those keywords to search through API to get links for the articles, scrapes the website to extract the articles, summarizes the article, and displays them on the screen. The request package was used for API data, Beautiful Soup for scraping part, and those articles were stored in a local file. The text rank algorithm breaks down the articles in sentences. The sentences are represented as vectors, which are then represented in graph where vertices represent the sentences and edges represent the similarity between them. A text rank score is assigned to each sentence based on its importance of the article. The score of a particular sentence is determined by the weight of other sentences connected to it. Finally, the sentences are sorted based on their text rank score, and the sentences with highest score are merged to create a summary.
The resulting summaries were found to be short enough that it doesn't take much time, but not too short that it misses important details. Since the algorithm searches the articles from existing news website. The program is updated and only the latest articles are seized. Compared to existing summarization tool on the internet, the web interface is as simple as searching on Google, and there isn't any hassle of login or sign up either. The web interface that we have created is shown on screen right now. This is the home page with the search box. An input is put into the box at first to search for the news articles as shown on the screen. After submission, it redirects to the page where the summaries of the articles are displayed, which looks something like this. Hive News can be easily accessible by everyone because of its straightforward interface. It was deployed in our college network a few weeks earlier. Another survey was conducted after the deployment of program, where we found out that there was an exponential increase in the number of people browsing through the news on a routine basis because of Hive News. You can see that from the trend graph in the chart. After the fourth day, the number of users of Hive News increased by quite a lot. The program was restricted to only about 60 users to test it, and we managed to attract most of them. We also collected feedbacks from several people from around the college, and this shows a couple of them. One of them is from our faculty member, and another from intern in our college. The program is working completely fine on its own. However, there is still room for improvement. Our goal for the foreseeable future is to add more websites as sources for the news articles. Also, a paraphrasing tool is in development that could help with making the summary abstractive. There exists a web interface for Hive News, but a mobile interface is also in the works that would make this program even more convenient to use. From the moment we had the idea of Hive News, we knew that we were doing something right, but the responses we got after deployment was something we never expected. With a bit of tuning of the edges, our program could very well have an impact on a very large scale. I am very excited about the further development of Hive News. Thank you. Now let's open the floor for questions.
Thank you very much for your presentation. Are there any questions?
Yeah, I have some. Thank you guys for your presentation. It was really good. So I have several questions. The first one, which particular methods do you use for the similarity learning, for similarity measurement?
The similarity was measured as the sentence were ranked as the importance in the article. If the sentences are repetitive, or if the sentences matches keywords, the input keywords that we have provided, if the keyword is repeated on the article, then those sentences are ranked on the top and they are included in the summaries.
So it's you don't use any artificial intelligence networks or some methods, some models. It's just I want to understand how do you measure the most similar news according to the keywords.
Okay, first we search we use text strength algorithm, which goes to the article and takes the most used word from the article, and it uses similar words and having similar sentiments on the article for that word, and it ranks them and creates a graph, and using those words with the highest text rank score, it creates sentences, and that's how summary is made.
Okay, thank you.
More questions?
Hello. Thank you for the presentation. It seems as a big project. Do you write the code for this resource? Did you write the code for this program from the scratch, or what kind of your personal contribution for this project?
Okay, so it was mainly divided for the language. Most of the Python work I did, and for the web frameworks, sort of did that. So my part was I researched upon the APIs that search for news links. I used the request library, and after getting the links, I scraped through the links to extract the summary, the full length summary. Then I used the analytical library to summarize them and to create the web interface and sort of your data.
Yeah, and then web interface was created using just HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. The Python package we did mostly by ourselves, except a few packages were used. As we mentioned, them beautiful soup for extraction and text rank algorithm. We just wrote the code for them. Yeah.
Is the program available online?
Yeah.
It is hosted on our local college server, but not it's not in the internet yet.
But we could demonstrate it to you if you
Oh,
want.
can you demonstrate, please?
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you see the web interface in the screen?
Yes.
Okay, this is our homepage. It's as we mentioned in the presentation. It's a pretty straightforward homepage and it's as simple as searching on Google. Now let's try the keyword that could find us some articles and summaries of them. Let's try. What do you want to try?
Messi maybe.
Let's try something like Messi. Okay. So as the program searches for the articles and summarizes them, a loading frame is created here, and
currently it is scraping through all the news articles online and is storing on a local file for the text rank algorithm to work on the article.
It's up to you. Choose your way.
Any moment now, the generate summary page should be loaded up.
Until it's loading. Do you have a public repository of your code on GitHub or something like that, or not?
Not yet, but we can show you the code here.
No.
We have it locally on our machine.
Okay. And do you, as I understand, you both you work together on this project. Do you have any kind of version control system?
Version control system.
Yes, we plan to use GitHub. We haven't hosted it publicly, but we plan to.
Okay, understood. That's okay.
Yeah.
Okay, understood.
So this is the summarization page. As we've searched for Lionel Messi, it searches for the articles that has Lionel Messi in the title. If it can't find it in the title, then it goes to the text inside the news articles and then searches for the keyword, and a summary is generated like this. We've restricted the summaries to about 7 to 9. Just so that it will be less time consuming. And if the user wants to read the entire article, then there is also a link to the article.
Okay, thank you. Can you show us a part of the code and make a comment?
Comments. Which part would you like to see?
Any part. Just show the code and describe what is it about.
Yeah.
So this is the main Python file that is used. So first we have used a news API to get the links for any query that is made. And after that, first program searches on title. If it doesn't get any results, it searches on the description, and if it further does not get any, it searches for content, then title plus content. Now, and it keeps in on this response variable. Now, for this in this response variable, all the links that is extracted in this list, and for every item in the list, beautiful soup package goes through the article link, extracts the articles. Firstly, this is we have to decompose the extra elements on the web page, and this is the exclusions, like last updated on, the last updated ad, the text that we do not need. So this is the exclusion part, all this. Now, after excluding, the text is stripped, and it is added to this news t variable. This is a string, and with news title, date, and content news, and the link for the article is kept on this main data item list. Sorry, this object, and the summary part is left blank because we have to. The summary part is below, so we have imported the analytical library and different other packages to summarize the articles, and we have all this. And for each content of the list that we have just used, it will create a summary and keep in on a main data list, and it will create a JSON file.
Thank you very much. Very interesting. And the last question, is it your initiative to write this program, or someone asked you to write it?
No, it was our initiative.
Okay,
Yeah,
thank you very much.
I also have a question. Thank you very much, guys, for your presentation. And my question is, does you use some existing algorithm for creating the summaries of articles, or you create your own approach? Because I know that's a very popular topic. For example, one of my colleagues in our cathedra also develops the same topic. He also tries to summarize some texts, and so I want to know, does your research have some new approaches, or you just use some existing well-known methods?
Yeah, we used an existing algorithm. We researched quite a bit for. Now, let me just say this is an extractive summary technique, and there were quite a bit of algorithm, but we used a text rank algorithm to summarize because it was more convenient for us. It was easy to understand. It's quite popular too. And after reading a few research papers that were done on this, we chose text rank algorithm for this project.
All right, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you for your presentation. We should move on to next project. It's project also from Nepal. The authors Sharat Sharma and Archita Kendall. You can start your presentation and share your screen.
Hi, are we audible?
Yes, we can see you and hear you also.
Okay, we'll be sharing our screen now.
Yeah, you can share your screen. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, is our screen visible?
Yeah, it's visible.
Okay, so hello everyone. I am Sarat Sharma and she is Archita Kaudel, and the topic of our research is data visualization and its impact in decision making business. So let's dive in. Okay, in today's business world, we are dealing with an enormous amount of data that can be overwhelming and hard to interpret. That's why data visualization has become a powerful tool in decision-making processes. In this presentation, we'll explore the impact of data visualization in business decision-making. So let's dive in. So what is data visualization? Data visualization is the representation of complex data in a visual format, such as charts, graphs, and diagrams. It helps to quickly and easily understand large amounts of data, revealing patterns, trends, and relationships that may not be apparent for looking at raw data. Data visualization is a powerful tool for decision making, as it allows us to make informed decisions based on clear, concise, and easy to understand data. So these are some of the most used data visualization methods. It's one. The first one is graphs. Second one is charts and the maps. In graphs, we have different types of graphs, such as bar graphs and other kinds of graphs. In charts, we have pie charts. In maps, we can see the geospatial visualizations and the heat maps that are used for representation of data in a geographical format. So why is data visualization important in business? Data visualization plays a crucial role in modern business decision making. Here are some reasons why it's important. Data visualization allows us to easily understand complex data sets by presenting the information in a way that is visually appealing and easy to understand. Data visualization makes it easier to identify patterns and trends. Trends that might not be visible in raw data. This helps to make better decisions and predictions in the future. Time forecast, time-based data could be easily predicted in certain scenarios, which could be small or a massive overhaul in the process of decision making. It also improves the communication. Data visualization improves communication among teams and stakeholders by presenting information in a clear and concise way. This can lead to more efficient decision making and better collaboration among team members. So let's look at one of the complex data sets. It's a data from COVID-19 and the categories of population that were affected by the disease. The source of the data is given in the slide below. The data is stored in a convenient format, but this format might be a very daunting task trying to extract certain insights and getting to know the data overall. Hence, this is why data visualization makes it a piece of cake to understand the data more easily and conveniently. Let's look how. Now, if we take the complexity of the previous data set into consideration, we can observe how hard it was to make the data predictable or draw certain insights and forecast with it. With graph, it's so much easier and nicer to understand the data, understand the flow of data, the peaks, the plateaus, and many other features of the data. Another example of the interactive data is the working demo of the Sankey diagram of the IEA. This is a working demo that could be found in the website that is given in the website below. The chart consists of Sankey charts with parts that are interactive. A screenshot of the actual chart is shown in the presentation. The chart itself might look confusing, but comparing it with the data set, it is so much easier to track the data and the connection and correlation of the features in the data. Now we would be observing some of the organizations for which data visualization took a part in decision making for implementing or creation of certain policies for the longevity of the company.
So the first company is Target. The Target example is great. Another great illustration of impact of data visualization on decision making. By using data analysis and visualization tools to predict pregnancies, Target was able to market baby product to expectant mothers and gain advantage over competitors. This shows how data visualization can help business quickly understand complex data sets, identify patterns and trend. However, it also raises ethical concerns about customer data privacy and awareness, which underscores the importance of responsible data handling and governance in the use of data visualization for business decision making. And the second company is Domino's. Domino's pizza case study is another great example of how big data can be used to gain insight into customer behavior and drive growth in business. However, in order to make effective use of data, it's crucial to present it in a way that it is easy to understand and analyze. This is where data visualization comes in. By using visual representation of data in charts, graph, and map, business can quickly identify patterns and trend in the data and make better decision for their customers. For example, in case of Domino's Pizza, data visualization could be used to create dashboard that shows sale trends, customer preference, and delivery performance, among other matrices. This dashboard could be used by executives and managers to make data-driven decisions about how to allocate resources, launch new product. In summary, by leveraging big data with data visualization, business can make better decisions and gain a competitive edge and drive growth. And lastly, another company is Airbnb. It has used data visualization to make informed business decisions. One of the ways they have leveraged data visualization is through their dynamic pricing features, which automatically adjust the price of its listing based on the factors such as day of the week, season, and local events. This feature is presented through a series of data visualization, allowing hosts to optimize their pricing strategy and understand their relationship between pricing and occupancy rate. Additionally, Airbnb has used data visualization to identify popular destination, amenities, and style of accommodation through their wish list features, and this has helped the company create a more personalized and user-friendly experience for its customer, and ultimately driving business growth and success. Airbnb is a popular online platform that allows people to rent out their homes and apartments to travelers and has leveraged data visualization to better understanding customer preference and needs. Overall, by using data visualization to analyze and understand customer preference, Airbnb has been able to create a more personalized and user-friendly experience for its customer. This has helped drive business growth and success for their company. And the conclusion.
So for the conclusion, data visualization has emerged as a critical tool for businesses seeking to make informed decisions in today's data-driven world. With the help of interactive and visually compelling representations of complex data sets, decision makers can gain valuable insights into the patterns and trends that shape the operations, identify opportunities for optimization and growth, and mitigate risks that threaten their bottom line. Moreover, data visualization tools allow businesses leaders to communicate their findings to stakeholders across the organization in a clear and compelling manner, empowering everyone to work collaboratively and make data-driven decisions. As such, the impact of data visualization in decision making in business is undeniable, and its importance will only continue to grow as businesses increasingly rely on data to drive for their success. So we are the team. I'm Sarat Sharma and this is Archita Kardal, and thank you for listening to us.
Thank you very much for your presentation. Are there any questions to the participants?
Yeah, I have a question. So, guys, thank you for your presentation. As I understand, you made just an analysis of possible data visualization techniques. Yes?
Yes.
Yeah, so you did not code anything. You did not provide any software for, I don't know, for any visualization.
So we just used the data that was available from IEA, that is the International Energy Association, I guess, and they had the interactive data sets for readily used. So we did not use the data ourselves. Also, data wasn't readily available.
Okay. And what's your plans for the future research with this project?
So in future research, we are planning to gather the data that could be available for public use, either by licensing or that has certain rights. And we would be using that data sets, and we would be using certain data visualization and understand how it can impact the decision making in businesses from an economic point of view.
Okay, thank you.
More questions?
Okay, ma'am. Uh, um, Thank you for your presentation. And haven't you said any experiment, maybe not in your research before this presentation, but in future, any experiment with data like you made a good research of instruments to to visualization of business processes, and in future, what experiment can you have to make maybe your own um, examples of data visualization?
So in future, we could be using different kinds of 2D, 3D, and also try to use the 4D data visualizations that could make complex data sets that are difficult to understand in a more easier and readable format with the time and other based time series data and other kinds of data.
Mhm.
Uh, for example, if we take a look at the stock market data sets, the data sets that might not be understandable at first by the normal users or the person that are trying to make decisions for the businesses. But if we make a tool and give them to it, they could use the tool to make different kinds of visualizations that could be used for real-time forecast and other kinds of data visualization. That could be easier to understand, and they could use it for their own purposes and make their own decisions that could be useful for them as well.
Okay, thank you.
More questions? Okay. Okay. Thank you guys for your presentation. Thank you for your answers. And
Thank you for your time.
let's move on to the next project. I have to check. Is he in the list? No. Our next project from Tajikistan still didn't join the conference, and I propose to listen to one of the projects from Russia. We have Kirill Andreev and Tamerlan Rashidov already in the conference. I'm not sure are they ready or not. Tamerlan, Hassan, are you ready to start your presentation? Maybe Kirill Andreev ready. Никто не готов.
Расскажи другой подойди. Один скажи.
Rashidov Tamerlan, Hassan Abdullayev. I can hear you.
Hello, maybe we answer maybe a little later, please. We have some technical problems.
Okay, we will wait.
Thank you.
Сейчас 11:34. Ну, немножко подождем, да, ребята сейчас подключатся.
do you heard us?
Yes, we can hear you, and we can see a presentation.
Okay. Good afternoon, dear members of the jury. We, Abdullah Hassan and Rashida Tamerlan, would like to present for you our project, development of an educational informational resource for modern school children based on technology web extended reality. We are faced with a problem, namely the problem of perception of information. Okay, so according to the Ebbinghaus curve, already 1 hour after memorizing information, 60% of it is lost. The solve of this problem, we set a goal. It's to develop an educational informational resource for model school children based on technology extended reality. But for achieve this goal, we take the objectives like exploring the benefits of this technology for improving perception and using this technology in educational process. Like we know that the perception of information, it's a complex psychophysical process of forming a holistic image on object, and huge role in perception play perception channels. For example, books use only one perception channel, it's a written speech, but our method can be allowed to use more than 3 perception channels. Okay, because we have some experience in developing virtual and augmented reality, we already decided to conduct an experiment in which 11 students took part. The experiment consists in conducting a test work and comparing the results. But at the same time, 9 students used only books, and the remaining 9 used the proposed our method. It can be seen from the results of experiment. We see results that students, according to our proposed method, perceived the information for 40% better. And the solution of this problem was just a matter of time. So people learned to use a method of lossy mental maps and actually adapt classical virtual reality for solve this problem. But all these methods have their loss. For example, mental maps so impractical, the method of lossy doesn't fully develop perception and requires a lot of time and effort. What about classic virtual reality? This method requires a virtual reality headset and also as well as installation of development software.
WebXR is a browser API that allows web developers to create web applications with augmented and virtual reality using libraries like Frame, Free.js, and WebGL using JavaScript programming language. It includes components like XR Station, XR Reference Space, and XR Frame, and others that provide developers with access to informations about the spatial environment, users' input, and a display virtual world. WebXR also supports various devices, for example, Oculus Quest, HTC Vive, and HoloLens. WebGL is web graphical library, a graphics library. It's a technology that allows high performances 3D graphics and animations that to be created the animation in the browser without using plugins. It's based on the OpenGL which is used to write shaders programs that perform calculations on the graphics processor. WebGL provides set APIs with 3D graphics and animations. WebGL is supported most modern browsers, for example, Firefox, Mozilla, and Microsoft Edge, Chrome, and Safari. Using WebXR education has following benefits. It's immersion, the ability to create education applications with full immersion in the virtual space, allowing learners to interact more effectively with the material. Interactivity ability of learners to interact with virtual objects in real time, and improving the understanding of the material and allowing them to learn new information, modeling of physics processes, and the ability to create virtual models that simulate physics processes, helping to visualize abstract concepts and allowing the deeper understanding of the material. Motion tracking, the ability to determine and track the position and orientation of the learners in the space, allowing for the personalized educational applications and improving their effectiveness.
Let's now show you how the website working in IR mode. You can go into the site, use this QR code. No, we don't stop. Web VR. And what show me how this site works in virtual reality mode first. In this example shows how students can familiarize themselves with safely technicals in a chemistry lesson when working with substances that can emit toxic gases. In an interact particle case, manganese oxide and hydrochloric acid interact, showing is released during this interaction. So the student must turn off the heat. Okay, in this, let's start to show you how to work WebIR. Okay, we can select our lesson and go to read this. What is it?
First, go to our website. Here we can see a list of the subjects. Now we can see work of the WebXR in the browser.
Мосин Наган – пятизарядная боевая винтовка с затвором и внутренним магазином. Официально известная как трехлинейная винтовка М1891. Мосин Наган – пятизарядная.
Speech. Okay, in conclusion, I would like to say that all goals and objectives have been achieved. Work on the site project will continue. Plan to introduce artificial intelligence into our website to increase the number of mechanics, lessons, and more. Thanks for your attention. We can ask for your questions.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Are there any questions from the jury?
Yeah, I have a question, guys. Thank you for your presentation. So, as I understand, you propose these research outcomes as addition to the educational process. Am I right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah. So
we use virtual and augmented reality into browser.
Okay. And you show us the table with the percentage of students who improved their scores. So how many students do you determine?
In the experiment have been took part 18 students from 11th grade class.
Okay, and what's your plans for the future? So what's your teachers in your school say about this, implementation of this device in educational process?
Mm-hmm. In the future, we plan to to introduce artificial reality, and the teachers said it's a good product and they can be used on your lessons.
Thank you.
More questions?
Yes, I also have a question. I think your project is very interesting and will be very useful in our education system. But so, as I understood, you need artificial reality hardware, like headset for use your website. Maybe you think to create, for example, a mobile a version of your project, or just web version, so to make it to give the way to use it without the special VR headsets.
Yes, of course. For using virtual reality, you need this method requires the headset. But if you haven't headset, you can use augmented reality using your mobile phone. Okay, it's finished.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tom.
Thank you. Thank you very much for your presentation. Let's move on to the next participant. It's Anton Belkin from Russia.
Thank you.
Bye. Anton, you can start.
Second. Как тут открыть? Oh. Okay. Do you see my presentation?
Нажми на кнопку внизу «Поширить экран».
Так.
Внизу иконки.
Ага.
Start screen sharing.
Сейчас я сейчас не вижу.
Иконки. Там, где рука.
Рука, ну вот это видно. Вот.
Ну, где компьютер. Start screen sharing. Вот на нее надо нажать.
Ну, то у меня...
И выбрать окно. И выбрать окно.
У меня выбрано было. Сейчас.
Потому что мы видим экран предыдущих участников.
У меня написано, что я демонстрирую экран. А вот.
Вот, отлично.
Окей. А как теперь это убрать?
Все, больше не надо ничего убирать. Можно... You can start. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Good afternoon. My name is Anton Belkin, and I represent the Republic of Karelia, which is situated in the northwestern part of Russia. The title of my student research work is Combinatorial Problems on a Hexagonal Chessboard. Can you help me? Как переключать?
Слайды?
Да, yes.
Ну, слайды у себя переключаешь на презентации. Тут мы не видим здесь.
Так, видно?
Видно первый слайд.
Какой-то ужас. У меня не работал. О, а теперь?
Да, отлично.
Okay. I take part in different math Olympiads and often meet problems with the task about chess, where you need to find the maximum or minimum number of figures that can be put on the board. I was wondering if I could move these problems from the classical chessboard to the hexagonal chessboard. I would solve these problems for a hexagonal chessboard. You can see the purpose and objectives of my project on the slide. The slide presents classic chess problems for combinatorics. I think the problems do not need an explanation because they are popular among mathematicians and programmers. Władysław Gliński was a mid-20th century Polish engineer who invented a new type of chessboard. What is Gliński chessboard? This is a board of 91 regular hexagonal cells with 3 different colors. In the first picture, you can see the arrangement of figures on the chessboard. In the second picture, how the rook moves on which chessboard. And in the third picture, how the diagonal looks on the chessboard. And in the last picture, my method for solving chess problems. My method is to paint the cells of the board according to their strength. For example, in the center cell, we can knock out 31 cells, including the one on which the rook stands. And so on, you need to check all the cells. As a result, we get the coloring, which is presented on the slide. In my student research work, I solved 5 chess problems on Glinsky chessboard, and today I will tell you the solution of all problems. Problem number 1. Find the independence number and dominance number for the Glinsky chessboard. The independence number is 11 rooks because we have 11 horizontals and verticals. The dominance number is 5, since the main diagonal passing through the center has 5 cells. Problem number 2. How many ways can a pair of black and white rooks be placed on Glinsky chessboard so that they do not attack each other? If we put the black rook on the red cell, then we have 60 position variance for the white rook. If we put the black rook on the orange cell, then we have 6 position variance for it and 62 for the white rook. And so we get the answer. In the presentation. Problem number 3. What is the minimum number of rooks that must be placed on Glinsky chessboard so that all white cells are attacked by these rooks? You can see answer in my presentation. Problem number 4. In some 22 cells of Glinsky chessboard, rooks were placed. What is the minimum number of pairs of rooks capturing each other in this case? If there are n rooks on the same vertical, then we get n-1 pair. Horizontally as well, then the minimum of pairs will be when there are 2 rooks on the same vertical or horizontal. Since we have 11 verticals and 22 horizontals, we get the answer 33 pairs. Problem number 5. Initially, n cells are infected on Glinsky board. The infection then spreads as follows. A cell is infected if at least 3 of its side neighbors are infected. Find the minimum value of n and which the whole board will be infected. We see that in all variants, the perimeter of the infected cells is constant and equal 18. The perimeter of the Glinsky chessboard is 66. The perimeter of one cell is 6. So we need 11 infected cells. The answer and arrangement as in my presentation. In conclusion, I managed to prove that the coloring of the chessboard helps to solve the problem of independence and dominance of pieces for the rook in Glinsky chess. I also managed to solve analogs of classical combinatorial problems on rook placements for Glinsky chess. In the slide you can see my bibliography. Thanks for your attention. I'm ready to answer your questions.
Thank you very much for your presentation. Are there any questions? To Anton.
Yeah, I have one question. Anton, thank you for your presentation. Could you give an examples of practical application of your research?
Maybe only in you can use it in any Olympiads of mathematics or informatical or computer science, sorry.
And what about application in some software, in some modeling? What do you think? Is it possible to use it there or not?
I think yes.
Okay, thank you.
More questions?
Anton, thank you very much for your presentation. Please, could you tell us which combinatorial methods do you use in your research?
I'm use my my invented method about it is coloring. I'm use I'm use I'm use only these methods. So.
And also, I have an advice for you. When you're presenting your work, you should take in your mind that your listeners could be not an experts in your field of research. For example, they could not know about what is Glinsky chessboard and so on. So you should introduce them in your problem. It will be easier for them to hear you and to understand the main ideas and novelty of your investigations. Thank you.
More questions?
How did you come to this idea?
I'm one moment. I love to play chess, and one day I saw my sister paint pictures by numbers. I was wondering what it was a good idea to use a method like this to solve chess problems.
Good. Good, thank you.
Thank you very much for your presentation, Anton. And let's listen to the next participant, Nikita Poplevin from Russia.
Hello?
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you and we can see you.
Okay. Can you see slides?
Yeah.
Okay. The other slides also.
Yeah, we can see.
Yeah. Okay. That's great. That's great. Can I start?
Yeah, sure, you can start.
Okay. My name is Nikita Poplevin. I'm from Russia, and my work is about one unusual interconnection between distances in regular polygons and polyhedra. The point is that if a line is drawn through the center of a regular triangle, the sum of several reciprocals of the distances from the center to the intersection points of the line with the lines which contain the sides of the triangle will be equal to the remaining reciprocal of the such distance. So, for example, for this location of the line, we get 1 divided by OC1 plus 1 divided by OB1 will be equal to 1 divided by OA1 for any position of the line. And it was interesting for me to check if it also satisfied for other regular polygons and polyhedra. So I decided to first check the satisfiability of this relation for some other cases, and then consider the possibility of generalizing this interconnection to all regular polygons and polyhedra. Last year, I was able to prove that the property holds for any regular polygons for any position of the line. At the beginning, I proved that it holds for all regular polygons with an even number of sides. After that, I proved that it also holds for a regular pentagon, a heptagon, and a regular nonagon. The main feature of this evidence is obtaining the coefficient, which depends only on the angle of the polygon. And from the proof that this coefficient is equal to 1, it immediately follows that the property is satisfied. And in order to trace the pattern information of the coefficients, I led them to a general form. And I noticed that with this method of proving, it would be very difficult to find a way to generalization. So I decided to consider the special case when the location of the line passes through one of the vertices of the polygon. I proved that the property also holds for the special case for a regular pentagon, heptagon, and a nonagon. This allowed me to make complete generalization for all regular polygons with an odd number of sides. At first for a particular position of the line, and then when the position of the line changes. So after I noticed that this property is satisfied on a plane, I decided to also check if it also fulfilled in three-dimensional space for regular polyhedra. This time, the reciprocals of the distances from the center to the intersection points of the line with the faces of the regular polyhedron are considered. For regular hexahedron, octahedron, and dodecahedron and icosahedron, the property will be immediately fulfilled due to equidistance of the intersection points about the center. But with the regular tetrahedron, the situation was more difficult since it doesn't have parallel sides. So, like in a previous year, first I decided to check some special cases of the location of the line. I proved that the property is satisfied when the line passes through one of the peaks of regular tetrahedron. Then I proved that it also satisfied when the line passes through the edge parallel to one of the faces. After that, cases when the line passes parallel to one and to two faces of the regular tetrahedron. And the last one was when the line passes through the edge or its continuation. I was able to prove that the property is satisfied for all these special cases. This allowed me to choose the most appropriate method for a complete proof for any position of the line. I decided to use the method of coordinates in three-dimensional space. For this, at the beginning, I wrote the equations of the planes which contain faces of the regular tetrahedron. Then I got the equation of the line which passes through the center. And using these equations, I first got the distances from the center to the intersection points and the reciprocals of the distances. Here you can see all these reciprocals. And after expanding modules with geometrical considerations, I proved that the property also will be fulfilled for any position of the line in regular tetrahedron. So I was able to generalize that the property is satisfied on a plane and three-dimensional space for all regular polygons and also for all regular polyhedra. The exhaustive results obtained in the study can be useful, for example, for finding distances to inaccessible points. And therefore, they can find its application, for example, in architecture or computer science. They can be used like a base of exhaustive knowledge which is necessary to create artificial intelligence. Thank you for your attention. I am ready to answer your questions.
Nikita, thank you very much for your presentation. Are there any questions?
Yeah, thank you, Nikita, for your presentation. It was really good. I have questions related to your future plans for this research. And could you give, some specific examples of practical application of this research? You mentioned that it could be used in architecture and computer science, but can you be more specific?
Yeah. The finding distance to inaccessible points is mass problem which is used in architecture, for example, when it's very hard to use the simple method of finding distances. That, for example, if the points are very far away from each other, and if you're speaking about computer science, the creating of artificial intelligence needs, for example, a base of knowledge, especially geometrical ones, to use them for solving some kind of problems. For example, in algebra and other areas of math, nowadays computer can usually work very very great, but in geometric nowadays the brain of human is more effective than the artificial intelligence. So if we build this base of some kind of exhaustive knowledge like this, it will help to create artificial intelligence that will solve geometrical problems as well.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. And what's your plans for the future research?
I decided to also consider some other dimensions, some other regular polyhedra in, for example, fourth dimension, or maybe other dimensions, because it's very unique that the property can also be generalized in other dimension, not on a plane or three-dimensional space, but in I think it will be great if I could generalize it to the other dimensional space.
Thank you.
Nikita, I also want to thank you for your presentation, and I have a question. As I understood, the statement for the plane, for the two-dimensional space, is well known because you see it in the textbook. So your main result is a generalization of this statement for the 3D space. Does I understand you correctly?
Yeah, in three-dimensional space. And at the beginning, in origin, it was proved only for regular triangle. It was proved only for a regular triangle in the books, in Prasol's books. But last year I was able to prove that it holds for any regular polygons on a plane. And this year I was able to prove also that it holds for any regular polyhedra in three-dimensional space. So I made a complete proof in two-dimensional space and three-dimensional space.
All right, thank you. And the last question: did you publish your results in some journals, mathematician, for example?
Yeah, my work is published in Indonesian journals. It was in November, yeah, and I think it's very necessary when the results can be used not only in your country but in others as well. And I also want to publish in Russian scientific journals as well.
So you have a publication in Indonesian journal, but in Russia still you haven't published it, right?
Yeah, yeah.
You're going to do it.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, thank you.
Okay, more questions?
Again, how did you come to this problem?
I I've seen it when I was preparing for Maths Olympiads. It was about 3 years ago. I just solving some geometrical problems and found this task, and I found it interesting that it holds for regular triangle, but there wasn't information about other cases of regular pentagon or regular heptagon. So I decided to check if it satisfied for other regular polygons. I checked with GeoGebra program, and I found out that it's satisfied. And after that, I decided to prove that it holds for all regular polygons and regular polyhedra.
Who was the co-author of your article, which you published, or you was sole author of the article, or you have co-authors in your article that you published in Indonesia?
Can you repeat, please, the question?
Do you have co-authors in the article that you published in Indonesia? You said that you published article. Do you have co-authors, or you was only one author of the article?
When I was published in November, there was only one
author. So you're only one author of this article.
Yeah. I only one because I was working with my scientific advisor, but the most part of the work I did myself. So I was the only one author. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Very, very great work. Thank you.
Okay, Nikita, thank you very much for your presentation. And the next speaker is Vasily Sukharnikov from Russia. Vasily, you can start.
Do you see my screen?
Yeah, we can see your screen, but we can see your presentation still. Yes, please open the full screen. Yeah.
Hello, I'm going to present my project, Automated Driver State Monitoring System. I want to bring your attention to the problem of car accident related to the drivers falling asleep. According to statistics, almost 20% of accidents happen due to this reason. There are some solutions in the market which help drivers not to fall asleep. However, such devices have to be attached to the head or something, body of the driver, which is inconvenient. Also, car producers offer anti-sleeping assistance as an expensive option for premium cars. As a result, anti-speaking devices are either too expensive or inconvenient. My aim is to develop a user-friendly device which would help drivers to control their condition during the trip. My tasks are to build hardware part and to develop software system. The device is based on a Raspberry Pi 3B platform. Main components connected to the core include LCD display and PA camera with a flexible connection. Alert signal can be broadcasted through the car audio system or attached to dynamics. A device can be plugged to the car electric system. Also, I developed a computer program on Python 3. The main module supports user interface, different processing functions, and alarm system. Additional utility is design for calibration and fine settings. My algorithm consists of several steps. First is capture of the image from the camera. Then the image is converted into HSV format, which allows more detailed analysis of imagery. After that, the system identifies the eyes of the driver by searching for control points on the image. Then program prepares a dynamic model of both eyes to identify the moment when the driver falls asleep. In this case, it plays an alert signal to wake a driver up. Programming algorithms were optimized by following libraries. OpenCV used to capture video stream and to convert image into HSV format. The lib identifies eyes control points according to Shape Predictor 68. Finally, I developed a convenient device which provides safety for drivers and doesn't bother the driver during long journey. In the future, I'm going to continue improvement of the system and to add some necessary functions such as night vision support, installing no-wire camera, and infrared lighting. That's all. Thank you for your attention. I'm ready to answer your questions.
Vasily, thank you very much for your presentation. Are there any questions to Vasily?
Yes, I have a question. Vasily, thank you for your presentation. And it's, I think, a kind of classical question. So we know that on market, there is a lot of existing solutions in your sphere. Yes, like in Moscow transport. Yes, we have installed solutions which track drivers to be tired, and so there is exist. And in this case, what the difference of your project and existing solutions?
My device can be installed in different cars and in every place of the car. It is not an option of a car. It is a different device of opposite that we can watch in the market.
Does it really can be installed in every place of a car?
the driver can choose the place in a car to install the device, and camera can be aimed on user in different shapes.
In this case, do you have kind of different installation platforms? Because we know there is a difference to install on the left side of a car, yes, on the right side of a car, maybe on the center of wheel. Do you have a kind of different platforms?
I have a special connector to the desk in front of driver, and also driver can put it on different places in the car.
Okay, thank you.
More questions?
Yeah, I also have questions. Thank you for your presentation. What's an average time for response of your device? Do you measure this time? For example, when the driver closes his or her eyes, what's the average time when your device responds or alarm the driver?
Right now, this time is about 2 seconds, but this parameter is driver can change this parameter.
Driver can change this parameter?
Yeah.
How the driver can change this parameter?
Using utility that helps to calibrate my device before the trip.
Oh, okay. What do you measure the quality of your device? I mean, most of the drivers wear the glasses or sunglasses or some hats when they're driving. So, do you measure the quality of your device when there are some additional stuff wear in the driver?
Driver can wear glasses while driving, and everything will be okay. But sunglasses, when I will install a night vision support, driver can wear sunglasses too.
Okay, thank you.
More questions? Okay, Vasily, thank you very much for your presentation, for your answers. And the next participant is also from Russia, Kirill Andreev.
Hello, can you hear me? Can you see me?
Yes, we can hear you and see you well.
Tell me, I'm gonna turn on the presentation. Tell me if you can see it.
Okay.
Like this. Can you see
Yes.
it?
Yes, we can see.
So, can I start?
Yeah, sure. Start.
So, good day, dear participants of the conference. My name is Kirill Andreev. I study at the Quantorium Children's Technopark in the Kostroma region, and today I present to you my project development of the Conflicts of History board game, a set of smart tools for developing general cultural competencies and flexible soft skills in children. Play is a child's natural and humane form of learning. By teaching through play, we teach not as adults who are comfortable with learning material, but as children who can take it comfortably and naturally. In the conditions of an organized children's association, children receive various hard and soft skills. Usually, there are no problems with obtaining hard or subject skills. These classes are taught by professional teachers. Counselors or volunteers are responsible for obtaining soft skills for children and developing general cultural competencies of soft skills. This work is reduced to conducting various activities and games. I examined how this process was organized using the example of the thematic shift team History Week in the Children's Technopark Quantorium. Based on the shift program, the following soft skills activities are used on it: excursions, lectures, master classes, games, and recreational activities. From the analysis, I concluded that the main drawback of the soft skills activities carried out is the lack of an integrated approach and motivation for children to participate in these activities, since they are additional in relation to the hard skills line. This way, the goal of my project was formed: the creation of conditions for the integrated development of general cultural competencies and flexible skills in the conditions of organized children's associations by developing and introducing into the educational environment the board game Conflicts of History, a set of smart tools. The solution of all these problems allows us to talk about the development of the educational environments with the help of informatization of the educational process, which is one of the most urgent tasks now. The project includes 4 parts of the development: the search for analogs, the development of the rules of the game, the development of the playing field cards, and the writing of the game application. Examples of historical strategy games are the Great Patriotic War strategy board game, as well as a number of both online and offline applications. The following disadvantages of these games as tools for the development of general cultural competencies in the history of Russia and flexible soft skills in children have been identified. In the case of the application games, the main disadvantage is the lack of live communication between children, which does not allow us to talk about the development of 4K competencies: critical thinking, creativity, communication, and coordination in a complex. Also, players may have problems during the implementation of communications. There may be problems with communication or sound equipment. At the same time, game applications do not include many constituent elements, which could lead to the loss of the integrity of the game set, and may also include several different historical eras at once. So, in the case of the board game, the main disadvantage is the cost of the game and set and a large number of components, which inevitably leads to a violation of the completeness of the game set. In addition, the game tells only about one historical era. But in the process of playing a board game, there is a live communication between the players, and in parallel, there is a complex development of 4K competencies. This way, I needed to create a game that could develop 4K competencies in complex, promote live communication between players, and also include many historical eras, while having a small number of constituent elements and integrity. At the same time, the identified disadvantages are discarded while developing of the game. The developed set of smart tools is a combination of a board game and a smartphone application. It means that on the playing field, developed in Android, in Adobe Photoshop, yes, smartphones with the Conflicts of History Android application, written in the Android Studio development environment in the Java programming language, move as a game figures. On this slide, you can see the process of developing the playing field. An image of the strategic location and attack plan of the troops of the 2 sides of the conflict during the well-known Battle of Borodino in 1812 was taken from open web resources. Then an image of the same area was taken from the maps on the internet. A grid of hexagons was superimposed on it, on which tiles were laid out with the corresponding type of terrain, taking into account of the observance of the game balance. On this slide, you can see the units of the historical events, the Battle of Borodino, with their game stats or characteristics. Also, as a starting version of the game, the second historical event was presented, the defense of Sevastopol during the Crimean War. This slide shows a map. Game units were created for this historical event, as well as for the Battle of Borodino. All units have their own unique icons, which correspond to the warriors of the time in which the battle was fought. As it was said before, the Android application Conflicts of History is written in the Android Studio development environment in the Java programming language. The application uses a local network to connect devices to each other. An internet connection is not required to connect to devices. The diagram of the application operation algorithm is shown on the screen. Now we will briefly run through the code of the Conflicts of History. Briefly. So here's the code. Can you see it? Maybe I can scale it. Oh no, I can't. So can you see the text? Is it clear of the code?
Yeah, it's clear.
So here you can see the roots of my project in Android Studio. As you can see, here's 8 classes in total, which includes logic for the Android game. So here we have main activity, the first hour screen. It's like this. Yes, this is the main screen.
I'm sorry, Kirill.
Yes.
Could you press Control Plus? To
Control
make
Plus?
Yes, Control Plus to make the text
code
bigger.
larger. Yes. Unfortunately, Android Studio doesn't support Control Plus. I don't know why. Like I press it and it doesn't work.
Okay.
Believe me or not.
Okay.
Like I can explain
Let's
in a
go.
short. In short, what does the code do and what is the algorithm. So basically, it's a server-client interaction. So here's main activity where user inserts his nickname and the address of the host, which is being inserted automatically because the game searches for all the games in the local network. Yes, it uses local network. And also here's the button for creating of the game. Here, so you can be either server or clients who plays the game. Server can play the game. So clients, when players, let me return to our presentation. Yes, here. So first of all, the server is being created. Then players join the server while submitting the nickname. And when server decides when server decided in which team the player goes, then he can choose his type of unit which will be used in the battle. It's either cannon, a light cavalry, heavy cavalry, or troops. And each of the units have its own characteristics. They are corresponded here, as you can see. So to save the time in these purposes, I will show you the video of the game process to make it clearer for you. It has no sound, so I'll explain it to you in speech. Before the start of the game, the participants are divided into teams by drawing lots and determine the side for which each team plays. In this case, Russia or France. All players must have our app installed on their smartphones. Each of the players in the application enters a nickname. Also, he chooses the side of the conflict and the unit for which he will play. The choice of units can be determined by the team by agreements, and it is moments that is aimed at developing 4K competencies. Next, one of the players must create a game and the others must connect to it. Then the smartphone chips are being placed, as you can see here. Oh, no. Let me return it to the normal state. Yes, here, as you can see, they are divided into teams. And then they select the unit, and then the game process starts. The player of the one team goes first, then the other team. And so all the players of both teams walk in a circle. Each player in one move either moves his unit across the playing field by the number of cells indicated in the unit's characteristic, or can make an attack. Both movement and attack are affected by terrain. From the mountains, you can attack further, and through the forest, one less cell. When attacking, the player rolls a dice, which determines the success or failure, as you can see here on the video. Also, the dice thrown by the one who defends himself. If a number is a roll that is equal or 2 greater than the armor characteristics, then the unit defended itself. In case of a successful attack, the player in the application presses the attack button, selects the unit that he attacked, and his health is taken away in the amount corresponding to the attack of the type of unit which it was made from. So as you can see here on the video, this is a process of attack. And the one who was attacked died because he had less HP than the attack characteristic. So let's move on. In the process of working on the project, a strategy for its promotion was also thought out. The mobile app for playing Conflicts of History is free, but you will also need a game board to play, which will be sold in a set to play in stores. The set includes a game board, a QR code to download the game, and a code to unlock the game mode that matches the purchased set. To scan QR codes to program, the ZXING library was used. Based on the results of the work, a new tool has been developed and introduced into the educational environment, which is primarily aimed at developing general cultural competencies in children through acquaintance with historical events of different eras. But at the same time, we'll have to develop the speed of thinking, erudition, critical thinking, creativity, communication, and coordination. The game was tested during activities on paid educational programs for children's thematic shifts, Week of History, and engineering holidays in the Children's Technopark Montorium of the Kostomy region, as well as the Academy of Radiation, Chemical, and Biological Protection named after Marshal of the Soviet Union Timoshenko, at the All-Russian Conference Young Technicians and Inventors in the State Duma of Russian Federation and the International Forum Army 2022. The game can be interesting not only for children, but also for teenagers or even adults. Now you can ask your questions, and also I could add that I can do this thing to show you the code. So I can like zoom in like this to see the codes. Would this be helpful for you? Like, can you see if I zoom in like this? Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
This is the end of the presentation.
You need to zoom the code.
Like, if you want to, I can. It's like for you to see better. And yes, my presentation is over. You can ask your questions. I will open the codes right now for you. Like, is this clearer if I zoom in like this? Can you see like?
Yeah, it's better. It's better than it was.
So let me show you the code. You can ask questions about the code and my my project. So where's this thing? Magnifier. Yes. So feel free to ask your questions.
Thank you very much, Kirill, for your presentation. Are there any questions from the jury? Kirill?
Question. Thank you for your presentation. You have a very great project and very important project for Russia. So I didn't catch on stage of creating map. Can I make a screenshot, for example, on Yandex Map or Google Map and make it with your app with the cellular web, yes? Or you have a set of these maps and I can do it now myself? So
okay.
The question about can I make my field of screenshot of Yandex Maps or other services?
Well, if you wish, like, of course you can, but you need to like, if you want to make your own map for my game, yes, like this, you need to first of all you need to determine the location of the battle. Like, if you want to create a map, you need to decide which battle will you like provide for the game. That's first. Secondly, you need to check the literature where this battle were. So if it's I don't know, for example, the Borodino, the battle against Borodino, you need to check where it was, and then come to the Google Maps and make a screenshot. And based on these screenshots, you need to place hexagons depending on the like on the type of grounds on which you place your tile. That's important. And also, if you make a map, you should follow the game balance, as it was said before. There are some elements that were moved from their original positions in order to provide the proper game balance.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my answer.
So on your slide, it looks like it's generated. Yes, ma'am.
No, it's not generated.
It's
Like
manual.
it's what?
It's manual. So
I can't hear you.
it's manual.
Yes, yes.
Okay, so
I've created manually. Yes.
I thought on your presentation that is generated, but I think it's a good idea to develop your project in future because it's look like it's not hard to generate it from screenshots. Yes, so I think it's a good way to move on.
Oh, I see your points. Like, correct me if I'm wrong. You want to make a procedural generation engine to create maps for the game.
Yes, yes.
No, yes, I understand, but this is not actually correct for my project. As you can see, here we have only the historical battles and historical events. Since like because of this project is aimed to develop like historical competencies. We like I select only battles, like the real battles. So here you can see the defense of Sevastopol, which is being scanned, and here is the Battle of Borodino here. So only real historical events, no generation.
Okay, thank you. Okay.
More questions? Okay, Kirill, thank you very much for your presentation and for your answers. And for today, our meeting is finished. Thank you all the participants, all the jury members.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for your work.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Мы с вами тогда договоримся, что посмотрите, заполните анкеты, экспертные карты на этих ребят, и потом мы спишемся в чате, в WhatsApp, и тогда мы сможем с вами...
Подскажите, пожалуйста, а сегодня все выступили из списка?
Не было одного из Таджикистана.
Ага.
И он не подключился, его не будет.
А мы заполняем экспертные карты только для тех, кто выступал, или для всех, кто был заявлен?
Не, только для тех, кто выступил.
Угу. Okay. Получается, не выступил Таджикистан.
Этот Абду Васитов. Да.
Понял, хорошо. Спасибо.
Все,
вчера все были, да?
Вчера тоже
Вчера я отмечал, да, что это были. Хорошо, спасибо.
Да. Все, спасибо вам большое.
Да, до свидания.
До свидания.
До свидания.
До свидания.